I have been following Beyond the Gates for quite a while now, and recently I can't shake the feeling that something deeply unsettling is quietly unfolding beneath the surface. Nothing has been officially confirmed, of course, but the way the storylines are being layered, the way characters are behaving just slightly off from what we expect, I think we might be heading toward a far darker, more explosive direction than anyone is prepared for. I could be wrong, but this is just my interpretation based on everything I've been watching and feeling. Right now, the tension between Bill, Haley, Lynette, and Randy feels like a ticking time bomb. On the surface, it looks like a messy web of manipulation, emotional dependency, and financial exploitation, but I feel like it's actually much more calculated than that. Bill is still trapped in this illusion that Haley is somehow innocent, misunderstood, maybe even a victim of circumstance. Meanwhile, Haley continues to position herself as someone who has been judged and mistreated, especially because of her role as the other woman who entered Bill's life and destroyed what used to be a seemingly perfect family dynamic. Then there's Lynette, who, in my opinion, is not just a manipulator, but someone who understands exactly how to exploit emotional vulnerabilities. And Randy, he's playing his own game, and I don't think we've even seen half of what he's capable of yet. Everything right now feels like a setup, not a resolution, just a setup. A man who refuses to see the truth. I'll be honest, Bill frustrates me more than anyone else in this storyline. I feel like he's not just being deceived, he's choosing to be deceived. There's a difference. Every time Haley speaks, every time she defends herself using emotional arguments about being misunderstood or mistreated, Bill softens. He feels guilty. And I think that guilt is the key to everything. It's the one weakness that both Haley and Lynette, directly or indirectly, are exploiting. In my opinion, Bill is trapped in a psychological loop. He betrayed his family for Haley. Because of that, he feels he owes her loyalty. Because he feels he owes her, he ignores red flags. And because he ignores those red flags, he digs himself deeper. I think Bill needs Haley to be innocent. Because if she isn't, then everything he sacrificed, his family, his reputation, his moral ground, was for nothing. And I don't think he's ready to face that. Haley, victim, or mastermind. Now this is where things get really interesting. At first glance, Haley presents herself as someone who has been constantly judged, constantly attacked, constantly forced to defend her place in Bill's life. She claims she just wants someone on her side, someone who understands her. But I feel like that narrative is too convenient. In my opinion, Haley is far more strategic than she appears. She knows exactly what to say to trigger Bill's guilt. She knows how to position herself as vulnerable while subtly redirecting blame onto others, especially Lynette. And most importantly, she knows how to make Bill feel like protecting her is his responsibility. That's power. And I think she's using it. I could be wrong, but I don't see Haley as someone being used. I see her as someone who allows others to think they're using her while she quietly pulls the strings. The obvious villain or a necessary chaos. Lynette is interesting because she feels like the most obvious antagonist in this situation. She's demanding, manipulative, and clearly interested in extracting money and control from Haley. But here's the thing, I don't think Lynette is the most dangerous player here. She's loud, she's aggressive, she makes her intentions obvious, and because of that, she's predictable. In my opinion, Lynette represents visible danger, the kind that everyone can point to and say, that's the problem. But sometimes the most dangerous threats are the ones that don't look like threats at all. Still, I don't think Lynette is as easily manipulated as Randy might believe. I actually feel like she's more aware than she lets on. She might already suspect that people are trying to play her. And if that's true, then things could get very messy. Randy, the quiet strategist. Randy might be the most underrated character in this entire situation. At first, it seems like he's trying to help by exposing Haley to Lynette, by pretending to share his frustrations, by creating this illusion of alliance. But I don't buy it. I think Randy is playing multiple sides at once. In my opinion, his plan isn't just about stopping Lynette or protecting Bill. It's about controlling the outcome. He doesn't want chaos. He wants controlled chaos. The fact that he lied to Lynette, pretending to be on her side, suggests that he's willing to manipulate anyone if it helps him achieve his goal. And the way he's trying to prevent the penthouse situation tells me that he's thinking several steps ahead. But here's Here's where I get uneasy. I feel like Randy might be underestimating Lynette. And in a game like this, underestimating the wrong person can destroy everything. The penthouse situation. A turning point? The penthouse storyline feels like more than just a financial conflict. I think it's symbolic. It represents control. If Lynette succeeds in forcing Haley to pay for it, that's not just about money, that's about dominance. It's about proving that she can extract something significant from Haley. But Bill's resistance to this idea is interesting. For the first time, he's pushing back. And I think that's important. I feel like this could be the beginning of a shift in Bill's character. Not a full awakening, but maybe the first crack in the illusion he's been living in. Still, even though he disagrees with Haley on this issue, he still trusts her. And that's what worries me. Because partial awareness can sometimes be more dangerous than complete ignorance, where could this be going? Now, I want to be very clear. This is just my interpretation. But based on everything I've seen, here are some directions I think the story might take. 1, Bill's downfall might be inevitable. I feel like Bill is heading toward a breaking point, not because of one big event, but because of a series of small decisions that slowly destroy him. If he continues to trust Haley blindly, I think he could lose everything. His finance, his relationship with his children, his reputation, possibly even his safety. I don't want to go too far, but I feel like the show is hinting at something darker. The idea that emotional manipulation could escalate into something more dangerous. 2, Haley might be playing a much bigger game. I think there's a strong possibility that Haley is not just reacting to situations, but actively creating them. What if she's not just dealing with Lynette, but using Lynette? What if the conflict between them is part of a larger plan? I know that sounds extreme, and I could be wrong, but the way she navigates these situations feels too calculated to be accidental. And 3, Randy's plan could backfire. Randy believes he's in control, but I think his biggest weakness is his confidence. If Lynette realizes that he's been lying to her, everything could explode. And when someone like Lynette feels betrayed, I don't think she just walks away. I think she retaliates. Hard. 4, Lynette might refuse to let go. There's no way Lynette just disappears from this situation. I don't believe that for a second. Even if Randy tries to push her away, I think she'll find a way to stay connected to Haley, especially if there's money involved. In my opinion, Lynette is the kind of person who doesn't walk away from an opportunity. She adapts. She finds another angle. 5, a major reveal could change everything. I feel like there's something we don't know yet. Some hidden truth, maybe about Haley, maybe about Randy, maybe even about Bill himself. And when that truth comes out, I think it could completely shift the dynamic between all these characters. At this point, I don't trust anyone in this storyline. And I think that's exactly what the show wants. Everyone is manipulating someone. Everyone has something to gain. And no one is fully honest. I think we're building toward a moment where everything collapses at once, where lies are exposed, alliances break, and the consequences finally hit. This is just how I'm interpreting everything based on what I've seen so far. And maybe that's what makes this storyline so addictive, because we're constantly questioning what's real, what's manipulation, and who is actually in control. So now I'm curious, do you think Bill will ever realize the truth about Haley, or will he keep falling deeper into her world?